I'm Mark Porter with Castle Hills Real Estate. I also happen to be a senior CRS instructor with the Residential Real Estate Council. And today I'm here to talk to you about investing in residential real estate. We have a couple of classes at RRC that you could work on towards a CRS designation. And I'd like to share with you one of the benefits or something we talk about in those two classes. And let's start out like this. I purchased a residential investment property, a single family home last year for $275,000. I immediately went over to the tax records to look up the land value, which was $50,000, and that left $225,000 in improvements. Now the reason that's important to split out the land is you can't depreciate land. You can only depreciate the improvements. So you got to go get the numbers from either from an appraisal or for the county tax records to get the land value and split that off. Now the beauty of residential real estate is you can divide that by 27.5 years. And you come up with a number that you can depreciate every year. So I take my $225,000 in improvements, I divide it by 27.5 years, and I can depreciate $8,000 a year off my passive income. So if my income is around $100,000, and I take an $8,000 deduction, now I'm going to pay tax on $92,000 instead of $100,000. So that can make an impact on your tax liability. Now maybe that doesn't seem like a lot to you, but if you own 3 or 4 properties, that can really start to add up and offset a lot of income. Now, another concept within depreciation is cost segregation. Cost segregation is kind of new to single-family homes because normally cost segregation is something you do with a big commercial property, an apartment complex, in which an engineer comes in and divides out the 27.5-year property from the 5-year property and the 15-year property. So you got your 27.5-year property, which is the main structure. And then you got your 15-year property, which would be some of the hardscape improvements, landscape improvements. And then you got your 5-year property, like the carpet and paint. So the engineer comes out and divides this 225 into different categories to further your deduction. So you can increase your deduction earlier in the investment, and that's usually desired. Pay less tax today instead of paying more tax. So here's what my cost seg study turned out to be, and I'll show you that on the screen. So I got $194,000 for 27.5-year property, which 194 divided by 27.5 years leaves about $7,000 a year for 27.5 years. And then I got 15-year property that came out to be about $17,000. And that puts me at about $1,000 a year deduction. And then the 5-year property ended up being about $15,000. And so that put me at about a $3,000. 15,000 divided by 5 is 3,000. And that's how much I can depreciate in the next 5 years, in the next 15 years, in the next 27.5 years. So this year, what I'll show on my taxes is about an $11,000 loss on this one property. So I come up back over here and take this $8,000, increase it to $11,000, and now I'm at $89,000 that I'm paying tax on. You see the benefit here. $11,000 versus $8,000 because I did a cost segregation study. Now, in September of 2017, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was passed, which increased the deduction or increased what we call the bonus depreciation. Bonus depreciation in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017 says anything less than 20 years, I can depreciate that year, right now. So less than 20 years. That's this property and this property. This part of my property, I can depreciate it, I can bonus depreciate it today. So now instead of 1,000, let's carry the 7 over, but this one is going to be the full 17,000 in this year and the full 15,000 in this year. And now I'm looking at a $39,000 depreciation deduction against my income. Which puts me at what, 61,000? I mean, that's going to drop me into the next tax bracket of 22%. And you know, that's not the only property I own. So if you own a couple of properties, you know what this can do long term over your tax liability. It can really wipe it out. So think about depreciation, straight up depreciation, 27.5 years. It's what a lot of us have been doing for years. But today, because cost segregation pricing has come down, meaning it's cheaper. In fact, let me mention kgkb.com. This is a company that creates software for the engineers to do those big multifamilies and commercial properties, to do those cost segregation studies. And now they offer a $400 software-based cost seg study. So check out kgkb.com and look at their cost segregation studies for residential, single family, and maybe consider grabbing some bonus depreciation to offset passive income, or if you're a real estate professional, offset all of your income. And that's that's one of the benefits of investing in residential real estate. And I would like to share even more tips and tricks with you and have you in a class.